Alrighty, so just a little bit late on this one, not too late, right? It's still 5 in the morning, but we have the banner here, or at least most of the banner for the Tanabata replacement campaign, TDC, whatever you guys want to call it. I don't know what we're really calling it, to be honest. I know some people are calling it the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, some people are calling it Tanabata, but this is what we've got. If you guys, this is your first time seeing the banner, allow me to introduce it to you. We have FRIEZA and GOGETA, and then the new Vegeta with the jacket, who is an extremely cool character. I'm actually really hoping I can end up getting a copy of him. Then we have the rest of the crew. We've got TEQ Kaioken Blue Goku making his heavily anticipated return. I know everybody is juiced up for that. We've got Int Hit, and then we've got Physical Glorio. So we only have a little bit to go off of right now, but we have the main attractions of the banner. It's very interesting to see here how this is going to work. Is this going to be exactly like the Gohan banner where it's just all TURs? Because I don't think they're just going to like sneak an LR in there. I guess it's possible, but it is pretty interesting. Again, this is a Dokkan Festival exclusive LR banner. So what I want to tackle today in this video is whether or not you should be summoning for this character. Now, first up, let's go ahead and talk about the main attraction of the banner. GOGETA and FRIEZA. We have them in the data download here, and they are going to be releasing at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So when I upload this, like again, just convert 9 p.m. EDT to your time zone, right? Keep that in mind, because every time that this happens, people forget, like they're like, what is it, EST? And I'm guilty of this too. But with EST and EDT, daylight time just means that we're an hour ahead, right? So that is just something to keep in mind. So convert your time zone to 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that is whenever the banner is live for you. So currently, it is 16 hours from when I'm recording this video, and then a little bit after that for when I'm uploading it. But again, if you want to figure out the time for you, just go ahead and convert that. So that is when it is dropping. Now, this character here, FRIEZA and GOGETA, are extremely powerful. They both have very good defensive capabilities. FRIEZA with his taunt is going to look extremely impressive, especially if you put him in like slot 2 or slot 3 to absorb all the attacks on his taunt turn. Very, very good stuff here from this FRIEZA. And then we know GOGETA is also going to be impressive in his own right and can also just be look like straight up the best character in the game on his best turn for sure. Consistency, we'll see, right? With movie heroes and movie bosses, we'll have to see how this team sort of fleshes out and how you got to build the team and all these fun things. But these are sort of the growing pains with a unit and just kind of figuring out what is going to be happening for them. So just keep that in mind, right? That is just something that we have here. But I think they are powerful enough to warrant using some Dragon Stones on. So just keep that in mind as well. And there will also be tickets that we can acquire, and I'll be making a video on that a little bit later today as well. So that is also a good way to be spending our resources, right? When we have tickets, potentially, we might not even have to go into this banner with stones. And then there's also a part 2 LR that we have to consider. So there's a lot of things going on with this character in specific. But I think that they are looking very good, having all of these other things for extreme class allies, or when we have movie heroes or movie bosses. When we look at those teams in specific, we would have to see how many characters are runnable on them right now. But then we also have to keep in mind that like during the celebration, we're also going to be getting buffs for movie bosses. So initially, the first thing that comes to mind is this Golden Frieza is going to be getting his EZA. And then when we look at the TURs, things are a little bit rough right now, but I wouldn't be shocked if the TEQ Golden Frieza in specific, where is he at? This guy right here ends up with the Super EZA, or something along those lines, right? It wouldn't shock me in the slightest, but maybe this Cooler ends up getting his EZA, and then we'll just kind of have to see where movie bosses is from there. But the issue with movie bosses specifically with this character here is like Cooler and Frieza, if you want to run them as a rotation, Cooler is going to be missing out on big bad bosses, which isn't a death blow, but it's also a pretty big deal, right? Like missing out on big bad bosses for a character is definitely unfortunate. But again, the best linking partner for this Frieza in specific is definitely going to be this AGL Golden Frieza right here for the time being. So I'm very excited to see how that rotation works in game. And this character is just like the sheer amount of categories here. What is this? This is 25 teams, right? Yeah, 25 teams. So a character that is good on 25 categories, essentially, is always going to be at least somewhat worth the Dragonstone investment in order to at least obtain them. And at the end of the day, it is GOGETA. So, like, people, you know, the blinders get turned on when you see GOGETA, right? Where it's just kind of like, I got to lock in, I got to get this character. I saw a joke. It was like, we got extreme class LR Gogeta before we got Kid Buu. So very funny the way the Dokkan works. Omatsu is the Joker. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. He is just a funny guy, but we love him, right? He's the best. So yeah, just looking at it here, I think this character is very good. And if you want to summon on the sole premise of you want this character in specific, then I think that is fine. But when we look at other characters here, the banner unit for Vegeta, this is going to be, I think, a pretty good character for the Festival of Battles. He is a Rainbow Warp Changer right off the bat. He greatly raises his defense on super attack. Then what we also have is when you're the first attacker at the start of the turn. So all you got to do is put this character in slot 1, and then he's going to Rainbow Warp Change, right? Or right, if they're the second or third attack, I guess it just depends on where they are. You can't just put them there. This character is always going to have a chance to change key spheres, right? And he's just going to make a lot of Rainbow Orbs, really, no matter where he is, essentially. So that's really good. Then we have damage reduction rate right here, and then extra chance to dodge. So I think that this could end up being a really good Festival of Battles character, just based on the teams that he's on. He is on Successors, he's on Pure Saiyans, right? He's on Movie Heroes, Movie Boss, or not Movie Boss, it's just Movie Heroes. He's going to essentially fit really well onto that Festival of Battles team, and I'd actually be very interested to see how he operates in that specific fight. So I think that, you know, you're not going into the banner just trying to summon for this guy, and then you also have to keep in mind that you can potentially pull him on any banner moving forward, but if you do end up getting him before you get the new character, I think that is a huge W for you. Because again, I just think this character has a lot of potential, especially as a banner unit. This is what we need. But I'm really seeing him just as like for the Festival of Battles is really where I'm going to like this guy. The high chance to evade, and then on top of this, right, chance to evade enemy attack when you have this. So that's 80% chance to dodge, 30% damage reduction right here, and then the ability to greatly raise your defense on super attack. Very, very nice, right? Also, Rainbow Warp changing for the Festival of Battles is extremely clutch. So I think that this guy could end up being extremely good in there. So I could be wrong, right? I've been wrong before, but I think I see the vision with this character in specific. Now, the big boy, right? You knew we were going to have to talk about him eventually. He found his way onto the banner. I remember I was talking with a buddy where he was like, surely this is going to be a dual Dokkan fest because of the fact that they need to rerun Hit and Kaioken Goku. And I'm like, why not just put both on the banner? And lo and behold, your boy was right. They just put both on the banner, right? But Super Kaioken Goku, right? Hopefully, if you used your tickets, or you use your red ticket or whatever, the Dokkan Fest coins ticket, hopefully you did not pull this guy, right? He's just not good. But it is a 2025 Dokkan Fest that I'm sure a lot of you guys are missing because you didn't summon on this banner because he wasn't any good. So at least that is going to give you a chance to pick up a character that you were potentially missing. Not really much potential here. I have a friend who's a really big fan of this character, but other than that, like, I don't know, right? Like, they're just okay. Definitely could be a lot better. Hit. I like Hit a lot. He's very good. He's up there in terms of some of the best TURs in the game. You can run him in the Festival of Battles. You can do all that fun stuff. He's on Accelerated Battle. Yeah, so Accelerated Battle is an interesting team right now. Because they just added Gogeta to it as well. Now, is that updated in the data here? I know they did it, but I don't know if it's completely updated. Did they put Gogeta in here? The new ones? I think that, yeah, Super Gogeta's right there, or Dragon Ball Super Gogeta's right there. So that does make things a bit interesting because he is an accelerated battle leader and that team is getting a little bit better. I think this is a good TUR to the point where it's like this is their first run back. So if this is a character that you potentially would want to coin, you could do that if you want. But I don't know if it's enough to the point where it's like, okay, you have to have this, right? But he's a good character for sure. So far on this banner, 3 of the 4 characters we've looked at are very good. And then if we move on, we have Glorio, who is also very good. So right off the bat, I think that's just like when you have 5 characters, at least 5 characters that are going to look pretty damn good, or 4 out of 5 characters, excuse me, that's not a horrible, like, rate for a Dokkan Festival exclusive banner. Now, another thing to keep in mind is we don't know how they're going to kind of flesh out the rest of the banner, right? Because I have one assumption. You guys probably know who I'm going to talk about next if you guys are looking at Glorio on the screen. That's my prediction who's going to be on the banner, but we just kind of sort of have to see what else is on here because obviously, they're not that generous, right? It's not going to be a 5 to 6 featured unit banner with a new LR. They're going to find a way to put probably at least 7 to 8, probably 8 to 10 characters characters on here. So just keep that in mind. That's usually how these things go. Now, this is not a pity banner, right? That you're not going to be able to pick up pity on this banner. So keep that in mind. This is pretty important for like the way it's going to operate, because if this was a normal pity banner like we saw with Gohan, there would be 10 featured characters here. Now with the TURs here, I don't necessarily believe that is a guarantee that we're going to have 10 featured units. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm also saying it's not 100% a guarantee. So with Glorio, this is a really good slot 3 floating character. You can run him basically anywhere and he's going to work to the way that you want him. He just has a lot of different things going. Really good character here. Has an action break on his active skill, the chance to dodge, all the crazy amount of additional supers he's doing, the support that he is providing, all of these other things. He's a very good TUR, and if you pick him up, you should definitely be happy. And last but not least, we have this Goku right here. So I think that Daima Goku's probably going to be on this banner. He's okay. Has a pretty good support and a chance to dodge, and that's really sort of his claim to fame. The ability to be really hard to hit and then also provide some pretty good support. That's probably his biggest assets. So that is sort of what we know at the moment. I'm not going to go into who else is on the banner. Really no sense in doing that because I was pretty far off with my predictions. I was expecting Dokkan Festival exclusive LRs on here, and it looks like we are not going to be getting a ton of those. Maybe they sneak some on. We'll see. If TEQ UI is on here, I feel like they would put him front and center with this FRIEZA. But if he isn't, then if he's on there, right? But we'll have to wait and see. So as of today, if you are asking what the final verdict is, I would use your tickets first. And then if you want to use some stones on this banner, I don't think it's a bad idea. This is the last major banner that we're going to be summoning on until New Year's and the anniversary. So if you want to have some fun and summon on this banner, I can recommend summoning on it. But if we look at if this is like a 10 featured unit banner and then all of the other units are really bad, then we'll potentially have to take another look at this. But that is how I'm feeling right now. Let me know down below what your plan is. How many stones do you have saved up? Are you going to be summoning? And if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to leave a like before you go and subscribe if you're new, so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. I appreciate you guys watching. Big shouts outs to Cosmo, Rado-kun, Brian V, Darth Anguish, and why am I blanking on the last guy? Oh no. Rado-kun, Darth Anguish, Brian V, Cosmo. There's one more member. Why am I forgetting your name, dude? Van, that's it. My bad. Sorry. Cosmo, Rado-kun, Darth Anguish, Van, and Brian V. I appreciate all my members. If you guys want to join, don't forget to click the link in the description. Further support me. I appreciate you guys watching, but that's all you really need to do. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you were new, and I'll see you all in the next one.